Welcome to the Paisley Pirates Podcast, your ringside pass to players, coaches, and the people who keep the fire burning. The ship sails with all of you on board. Coming up in this episode,
I think the speed of the game and the skill level of a lot of young guys coming through is a lot higher. I've always said that I wanted to go out on my own terms at the professional level. There's also a bit of fire burning inside me that, I couldn't quite let it go.
And joining me on this week's episode is a man who is absolutely no stranger to the to Braehead Arena, which is very much understandable. He has hit, we're saying 800 games at this point in time, and he has taken on a role with the Paisley Pirates this season. Please help me welcome Craig Peacock. Craig, thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Well, thanks very much for having me, Calum.
I know, it's absolutely fine. So, as I always start every episode with every single guest, what is your favourite biscuit?
My favourite biscuit? I don't know if it counts as a biscuit, but I'm going to say a Gold Bar.
Oh, I love a Gold Bar.
Yeah.
Love a Gold Bar.
A blast from the past. Yeah. But if you want an actual biscuit that I would have with a cup of tea, then I'd probably say a caramel milk digestive.
Oh, nice. Very nice. You're kind of on the same par as Adam Walker. He likes toffee pops, so we'll kind of say they're on the same bracket at least.
I do like a biscuit, especially with a cup of tea.
Anyway, so let's kick things straight off. So, as we mentioned at the start, you've touched 800 games overall for your professional career. Looking back, what's the kind of moments that still give you that buzz?
There's quite a few to look back on. I think any time that I represented Great Britain, obviously that's kind of the pinnacle of any athlete's career, is getting to represent your country. And lucky enough, I was able to do that on a few occasions, and got to go to some amazing places and play in Olympic qualifiers and win a gold medal in Belfast back in 2017, I think it was. So when I look back on my career there are obviously the special moments. And any time I won a championship at club level too.
So was there any point while you were, training, coming through the ranks, that you believed, this isn't just a hobby, this is now going to be, my career, my life?
I think probably towards my later teens, I maybe started to think that. I was lucky enough that my parents, gave me the opportunity to go over to North America and kind of further my career, just purely, more ice time and a more competitive level than what we were getting in the UK at that time. So I spent 2 years over there in America and Canada, and that was kind of when I think I realized that, I've got a chance to do this for a living for a little while, and I kind of gave it everything I had, and luckily it kind of panned out that way.
So obviously you've had the kind of pressure of playing, in big arenas, big crowds. There's obviously stakes involved with those kind of that professional background. But what do you believe, other than the kind of financial aspect to it, what's the biggest difference between the pressure of those environments and playing for a more community-driven hockey team now?
When you're in those professional teams, it's very much kind of a results-based business, and you'll hear that a lot from coaches and upper management. There's so much pressure, obviously, to win. Winning team puts bums on seats and everything that comes with it. And as we know, UK hockey is very much, based on full arenas and busy rinks. That's what keeps teams alive, along with sponsorship and stuff. So, obviously, Ian wants us to win too. I'd say the Pirates are a results-based business as well. We're always striving to get better each week and compete with those top teams of the league. So I think, as a sport, I don't. Obviously, the whole financial thing's different at the professional level, but in terms of wanting to win and the pressures of that, I think at both levels there's the same drive and determination, and it doesn't kind of matter what level you play, and there's always that competitiveness amongst the guys, and you want to do well. And we've been on the end of a couple of losses since I've joined, and we don't take it well, and guys are unhappy, and we want to rectify that and be better the next week.
Now, we will get on to more of the Pirate stuff, but it seems as if you just kind of gelled really well coming into the team. How's it felt, being welcomed into the team?
Yeah, it's been great. It's such a good group of lads, and I wasn't sure what to expect when joining. I kind of missed that locker room environment, so I've just come in and try to be myself and integrate myself into the team and just be one of the boys. That's kind of what I was hoping for, and luckily enough, hopefully it's going that way, and the guys are enjoying me being around, and I'm certainly enjoying being there, and the laughs in the locker room, and the couple road trips that we've had on the buses so far, and being a part of some great wins. That home win against Aberdeen was something. We're 3-0 down, 4-1 down. We came back, so just to be part of that, it's so much fun.
It's like you've been a part of the team for the past 10 years. Just the way you've just kind of slotted in perfectly. So, kind of going back to your time with the clan and with Belfast and Manchester, what memories stand out the most to you? Whether it's the dressing room, the fans, the travel, or just the grind of the season.
I think obviously signing my first pro contract in Belfast when I was 20. That was kind of a big moment for me. I was playing semi-professionally in Peterborough for 2 years before that, and I kind of had a few teams chasing me, and I remember kind of saying to my parents that before I'd even spoke to Belfast, I was like, I want to go play for that team just because they had a massive arena and a big following, and I thought that looked pretty cool. And then weirdly enough, that came true. They came to watch me in a game. It was in Bracknell, I think, back then. And I had a terrible night, and I thought, well, that's it. That's my chance gone. But luckily enough, they still took me on. So, yeah, I mean, looking back, it's my first year in Belfast it was something special. Like, I realized very quickly at the first practice that I needed to improve as quick as possible because I'd never been in a practice at that pace before. But I got thrown in the deep end because there was only 10 imports in the league at that point. So I had plenty of opportunities to play, improve myself, and we ended that season winning the playoffs. So sorry about my dog in the background there.
It's okay.
Yeah, we won the playoffs, so that was just brilliant and a special memory from my first year.
So you captain teams, you've mentored a lot of the younger guys, you've been on one of the most consistent British players of your era. How has your leadership style changed over time?
I think I just kind of tried to learn from guys throughout my career. I was lucky enough to play under some great captains in Belfast. I had Jeremy Rabbit, Colin Shields, Adam Keefe, who's the coach now. Even the clan, my first year, we had Matt Keefe, and everybody around the clan knows what a special person and player he was. So I just tried to absorb everything as I went throughout my career. And then obviously when I got put into leadership roles, I don't think I changed as a person. I wasn't much of a screamer or a shouter. I was just trying to say the right things at the right time. There was a couple of times, I maybe did raise my voice, and maybe it had more impact because that wasn't something that I did very often. And just try to make sure that we had kind of a good team environment, everybody gelled, and all the families got along. So yeah, just really tried to take something from everyone that I'd learned over the years.
Do you seem that a lot of the younger guys in the team right now in the Pirates kind of lead on you, or just kind of come and ask for advice? And if so, what's your kind of approach to that over the years as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be there. I remember being a young guy and asking for tips and advice and stuff, and it's kind of the best thing you can do is learn from your peers and stuff. So yeah, the young guys come up and will ask me questions, and I'm more than happy to speak to them and talk to them about my experiences. And not even the young guys. Last week, I was talking to Jamie Whitelaw about protecting the puck. He had some questions about that. So we were chatting about that at the end of practice, and I was showing him a couple of things. So, you're always learning. I'm learning too all the time. Like, the game's constantly evolving. At this point, it's a much different game than it was, 17 years ago when I turned professional. And we've got guys on our team who aren't even 17 years old. So, yeah, it's a different game, but yeah, I'm more than happy to help the young guys where I can.
So just kind of touching on that, you were talking about where the game was 17 years ago. What from your point of view, what has improved since then, and what do you think still needs work?
I think the speed of the game and the skill, the skill level of a lot of young guys coming through is a lot lot higher than what it was back then, and obviously the speed. I think just with the development of kind of off-ice training and things like that over the years now, that guys are athletes as well. Like they're coming in to like towards the end of my professional career, like guys are in such great shape when they arrive, where at the start your training camp was maybe to get into shape and guys enjoyed their summers a little bit more. But everybody, they're pretty serious now in terms of their training off the ice and in the summers. And guys skate 12 months a year. I would take 2-3 months off in the summer and, maybe go back on the ice at the end of July. So I think that way the game's changed a lot. Still physical, probably a bit more physical. Back in the day, it was kind of more contact. You could grab and pull a little bit more, get away. The reffing styles changed. But, it's an enjoyable game. It's such a fast pace now at all the levels. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing that's changed.
So you've seen, both sides of it, from the pro structure to the community aspect through the Pirates. What do you see, like the smaller clubs like Paisley and like Solway as well, when you played for them, what they can bring to the sport and maybe the pro scene can't?
It's kind of that togetherness. The pro scene, you get a lot of turnover. There's a lot of turnover with players, new players coming and going. Guys getting sacked in the middle of seasons. Like there's a lot of constant turnover, and it's a new year. You've got to make 10 new friends and get along with them. Whereas your community teams have been there for a long time. Everybody knows each other. It's got that real kind of family vibe, and you need to be a good person to fit in with that, which was, that's I was hoping I was going to fit in with the guys and stuff, because I know they're obviously a tight-knit group and been together for a long time. And that's the one thing I like about, the smaller clubs and going back to my time at Solway too. Like you see what it means to that community and how everybody pulls together to make it happen. And, it's not a financial thing. It's not about that. It's more about the club and the team and doing well and, the family aspect to it all. And that's really nice to be a part of.
So that was kind of slides us straight perfectly into my next question. So obviously you weren't ready to stop playing when you stepped away from the professional game, going to Solway and then now coming to Paisley. But what drew you to coming to Paisley?
Yeah, I think I've retired a couple of times, much to the pleasure of my wife. I keep coming back. So, it's an ideal situation for me. I'm 15 minutes from Braehead Arena and stuff, and my life obviously changed a little bit last year once my daughter arrived and the time aspect, and I thought it was maybe time to completely kind of step away, but there's also a bit of fire burning inside me that I couldn't quite let it go. When it's something, I've been playing ice hockey since I was 3 years old, so it's quite a hard thing to let go of. But yeah, speaking to Ian and Rab, and I've always wanted to kind of give back to the game a little bit as well. Coaching it's not really interested me as such, but I've always wanted to try and find a way to give back. So it's kind of an ideal scenario for me that I get to keep playing and kind of bring my experience to the team, and whether that's helping the young guys or the older guys, or if Ian and Rab had any questions about anything that I've maybe noticed throughout my career that I can help add to the group, just seemed like a perfect fit for me. And yeah, I've enjoyed every minute so far.
Amazing. So how have you found the transition from playing full-time to balancing hockey with life outside the rink?
It's been an interesting one. The interesting one's going to work on a Monday morning, so I was used to Monday being a day off. So yeah, I mean, my life's obviously changed. Like I said, my daughter arrived last year, so my time is scarce now, and busy working a landscaping job, and then practice, games, family time, walk the dog. It's a lot different to professional, when I'd practice in the morning and my day would be done by about 1 o'clock, and I could have a nap or go for a coffee with the boys and just relax. But I'm still getting to play the game that I love. So for that, I'm very grateful.
So obviously you've been around a very long time playing the sport. What's the atmosphere for yourself in the Pirates dressing room? Because everywhere's different, obviously, and being in the Clan dressing room is just literally round the corner in the same corridor. What's that kind of what's the difference been for you in that environment?
I don't think it's been too much different. As a hockey locker room and hockey guys, they're kind of a unique breed of people, I would say. And that was one of the big things I missed about the game. And, firstly, coming into the room, you could see what a great group of lads it is, and that everybody gets on, and there's no, animosity between the boys, and the banter's flying around the room from the moment you walk in to the moment you go on the ice. And, that's just so much fun to be a part of, and a big reason of why teams do well together, I think, on the ice, is how well they get on off the ice. And, you can kind of see that with our team as well. Everyone gets on so well, and that just makes you want to work that little bit harder for the guy next to you when you're out there battling.
So you've also come in alongside some, some really experienced guys, either playing through Paisley most of their life, or, bouncing around teams since they were, 12 years old, for example. How have you found that dynamic of, the vets in the team, including yourself, mixing with the developing players at Paisley?
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of, there's no in between. It seems like we've got a group of older guys and then a group of really young guys, and one or two sprinkled in the middle. But even at that, you can kind of see everyone's together. The young guys, they're a lot more boisterous than when I when I was that age. That's for sure. I would probably sit in the room and just be dead quiet and be scared to say anything. But they're all full of personality, and it just creates this great team dynamic amongst the older guys and the younger guys. And they're the next generation. So the older guys like myself are there to kind of help them along, and make sure that they are taking Paisley to the next level. I think that's kind of a bit of a responsibility amongst the older guys to make sure that these guys are learning and progressing, and then you hand over the torch at some point.
So, last point on the current team, because obviously we're going to have loads more season left to discuss even more of that. But the fans have got a real connection with the team, and they feel part of that, that community, that family you're talking about. How have you found it, the Paisley crowd, compared to the bigger arenas you've played in?
You know what? They make plenty of noise in there. I kind of like how it's just on the one side of the arena that they use, so it kind of keeps everybody all together. But I've been pleasantly surprised the amount of noise that gets created in there. And it makes it fun to play. Like I say, the atmosphere at the Aberdeen game was just brilliant. You could feel it a bit deflated when we had a struggling start, to say the least. And then obviously we'd get a few goals and get ourselves back into the game, and then tie it up, and the crowd was buzzing. And then we took the lead early in the third period, and it was some great noise and a great atmosphere. It was fun to play in.
I sadly wasn't there for that game. I was actually up in Fife doing the referee course, but I was getting told everything that was going on, like play by play, like this is what's happening, this is what's happening. And I'm like, I'm missing a great game here.
Yeah, that was a fun one. You missed the best home game of the season.
I know. I really wish I was there. I really do wish it. Anyway, so we now want to look at life beyond the EIHL and the professional leagues you've played in. How did it feel to take that step back from professional hockey after so long?
It was something I've been kind of toying with maybe for a year and a half sort of prior, as maybe something that popped into my head. And I've always said that I wanted to go out on my own terms at the professional level. I didn't want to try and hang on to the dream too long and get to a point where nobody wanted me, or I wasn't getting re-signed, or the fans start turning on you, or whatever it was. I was kind of, I was happy with everything that I'd achieved in my career. And I was starting to kind of think about, life after hockey. I knew I couldn't keep doing it forever. And the longer I played hockey, the harder it would probably be to transition out of it. So, I was pretty comfortable with my decision. I'd kind of made my mind up by, I would say, Christmas time that year. So I was just able to kind of enjoy the last 3-4 months of that season. But it was, I always kind of picked up summer jobs and, try to make sure I was doing something along those lines as well. It was something I was at peace with, but obviously I've come out of retirement twice here to join other teams, so I couldn't quite fully let go. But to step away from the professional game when I did, I think was the right decision.
So you mentioned as well, like now you have to get up for work on a Monday morning. Was that the biggest adjustment for you?
Honestly, yeah. Like I'm older now, so my body takes longer to recover, and then I've got quite a physical job, so there's no recovery time. Essentially, you're up and at it, and that's and you're away again. So yeah, it's obviously a lot different to playing at the professional level, but it's something I think I can manage, and I feel like I'm contributing to the team. I'm not, just struggling out there. I don't think so. Yeah, as long as I'm, being a positive influence on the team and contributing, then I'm happy.
You were saying as well, obviously you now started you started working full time as working in landscaping. Was that always on the cards for you? Is that something you really kind of wanted to pursue? But you've also obviously, you say you've got your daughter just arrived last year as well. She'll be keeping you really busy as well.
Yeah, you know what? I've never known what I've wanted to do after hockey. So my summer jobs were always like I worked in a golf shop. I've done construction, demolition, landscaping. So I was always doing stuff like I probably still don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life, but right now it's working. It was kind of just before COVID. I got into like insurances and stuff, and I was doing that kind of on the side of hockey at the same time. And actually ended up working out quite well for me because then COVID obviously cancelled the season. So luckily I'd been doing that about 6 months prior, kind of on a part-time basis, self-employed. So I had a job through COVID, which was lucky. But that also made me realize at that point I wasn't ready to work full time, and I needed a few more years of hockey. So yeah, it's who knows what the future holds, but right now, enjoying working.
I'm surprised as well. You said that the coaching doesn't interest you. I think you would been would present yourself as a great coach.
I think coaching at a high level doesn't interest me in terms of the commitment, just from being a professional hockey player and kind of the time and the travel is a big thing involved in it. So I don't think I would want to coach at that level. When I say I kind of want to give back to the game as well, like I'd be happy to kind of like coach like the younger kids and things like that, or maybe hockey schools in the future, or that type of stuff. I'd be okay with, but yeah, coaching at kind of any sort of higher level was never on my radar.
So do you believe that enough has been done to help players plan for a life after the pro game?
Honest answer, no. Especially in UK hockey, you're just kind of you're on your own.
Right.
There's not much support in terms of kind of life after hockey. Should it be a responsibility of the teams? Possibly. Does maybe a player union help with that type of thing? Probably would. I don't know if it's, I think they tried one like way back in the day in British hockey, but I'm not sure it ever really took off, or maybe only lasted a few years. But it's kind of hard to say whose responsibility it would be. It's not like we're kind of, footballers making millions. I was working in the summer and stuff, so and most British guys do. And when they get to the latter end of the career, I know there is guys that play in the elite league who have kind of part-time jobs on the side, getting ready for that life after hockey. But yeah, you're kind of on your own to it, which is probably why I wanted to make the decision to retire when I did, so it wasn't a shock. If I kept playing and all of a sudden nobody wanted me, and then I've got to go out and find a job. I was sort of starting to work my way into the working world a couple of years before I got to the point where I was okay, I'm done playing.
So what would your advice be to the younger players in the pro leagues right now about preparing for what comes next?
It's never too early to start thinking about it. I would say I think it took me till I was about 30 years old to start thinking, what is it I want to do, and start exploring different avenues. But take the time, because you do get your free time as a hockey player during the week once your practice is done. Obviously enjoy it. I mean, it's a privilege to get to play sport for a living, but it's never too early to start kind of planning your future, whether you're doing further education maybe some online learning on the side, or I wish I maybe like learned a trade in my free time or something like that while I was playing. So, and unfortunately, the nature of our sport is your career could be over in the blink of an eye. A bad injury. So, never too early to start planning for your life after hockey.
So, looking forward, what are your goals with the Pirates this season, personal or even team-wise?
I think it's just team-wise for me. I want to help the team be successful. I want to see us push up the league. I know we're obviously sitting in third place right now, but we've had some good games against these bigger teams, I guess you can call them, in the league, and it's just figuring out how, as a group, that we take that next step and we start winning those games, because I don't think the score lines of some of the losses reflect actually how we've played. We've been pretty close. We've had a couple, I call them just 5 minutes of pure madness, and all of a sudden we concede 3 or 4 goals and it looks a lot worse than it is. We've shown that we can compete. So I think, long term, I just want to help push us up the table, and then try and go for a run in the cup or the playoffs. In my experience, they're the times when anything can happen. Obviously, we keep pushing in the league, and you never know what's going to happen there either. You start get on a good run, and another team starts losing a few games. So we're not taking our eye off of that either. But just making sure that we find ways to get over that hurdle of beating these so-called bigger teams in the league.
So how would you define the success at this stage in your career?
Success as in this season, or success when I look back on my career?
Really at this point in your career, working with the Pirates.
Yeah, much of kind of what I just said is helping this team as much as I can to find ways to win and find ways to be better each game, and make sure that it's the Pirates are a competitive outfit, that the future years these young kids are taking it over and they're competing for league championships every year. That's what I'd love to see.
So do you think that this chapter for yourself in hockey has changed your relationship with the sport at all?
Yeah, when I'm playing, obviously I'm still a competitor, and I want to win. So nothing's changed in that aspect, but maybe in terms of practice and things like that, and offering more to the younger kids, and trying to set an example, and maybe teach them a few things that I've learned along the way, and try and pass on knowledge rather than just being out there competing and working as hard as I can. It's maybe this stage of my career to pass on the experiences that I've had over the years I played, and if that can help 1 or 2 guys on the team to progress. And we'd love to see these young kids carry the torch for Paisley for a little bit, but then get the opportunity at the next level, whether that's the National League or the Elite League. It's always great to see Brits moving up and doing well in those leagues. So if we can develop them and I can play a small part in something like that, and I'll be happy.
Amazing. So we just heard yesterday that that Barry McKenzie has now been signed with the Pirates. Former teammate yourself at the Clan. What's it like now sharing the changing room with him again?
It'd be interesting. A few years older than we were the last time I played with Barry, but obviously he's got a wealth of experience and knowledge of the British game. So. And now I'm not the oldest guy on the team anymore, so that's great.
So is he now Da?
Yeah, he's the oldest. It was funny when I came in, because Chris was asking me my date of birth, and then as soon as I told him, he started celebrating how he wasn't the oldest guy on the team anymore, and I took the reins. So I've only held it for a couple of months here, so I'm pretty happy about that.
So before we wrap up, if you could sum up your journey so far from Peterborough to Paisley, how would you describe it?
How long do you have?
That's what we've got all night if you need it.
No, I think the main thing for me in my hockey career is that I'm just thankful.
Nice.
I'm very thankful for the opportunities that hockey's given me. I'm very thankful for the places that it's taken me, like the countries that I've been to that I never would have seen. I've been as far as Japan to play hockey. It's taken me over the UK, all over Europe, North America. Eventually led me up to Glasgow, where I met my wife. Now I have a beautiful daughter. We've got a home here. Just thankful and what an honour to get to play ice hockey for a living. That was something pretty special. And if it wasn't for this sport, I don't have the things I have, and I haven't seen the places that I've seen. So very, very thankful, and also very thankful that I get to still play the game I love at my age, and enjoy it.
Excellent, Craig. This has been absolutely amazing. Just before we wrap up, is there anything you want to promote? Anything you want to say? The stage is yours.
No, I wish I had something to sell right now. If you need some landscaping, let me know. Just really enjoying my time here so far.
Excellent.
The boys have welcomed me in with open arms, and it's so much fun coming to practice every week and competing with the fellas every weekend and trying to get as many wins as we can.
Excellent. Craig, thank you so much for this tonight.
Thanks for having me.
The Paisley Pirates are proud to be sponsored by Cold-Blooded Sports, Renfrewshire Council, cyclelane.co.uk, Custom Sports Stitch, Hillington Tyre Services, Al Gold Photo, Studio 13, Abbey Services, Crosscheck Clothing, Wild Haggis Protein, iLaws Scotland, and the Falk family.